Well, October 25th, 2019, the wait is over. The remake of MediEvil for the PS4 is finally here. And greetings YouTube gamers, welcome to another episode of Retro Raider. My name is Johnny Retro and welcome to the channel. That's right guys, it is finally here and I'm super hyped about this remake. Definitely the remake of the year for me. We have been following this game like a hawk here on the Retro Raider channel. I've made reviews of both trailers. I did a review, actually, a first impressions review, because I was there day one when this game was announced here in Portugal at the Comic-Con 2019, and I also did a full playthrough of the demo. And of course that the original game right here that was released back in the late 90s for the PS1. This game was part of my childhood. And I also know that a lot of you have found memories with the original game because, you know, if you were a kid back in the late 90s, you grew up with this game for sure, if you had the PS1. And back in the day, Sir Daniel Fortesque, you know, the protagonist of MediEvil, was kind of a, secondary mascot for the PS1 back in the day. And this game was huge, this game was a hit, without a doubt a cult classic on the PlayStation library. And eventually it got a release, MediEvil 2. But rather than the two games on the PS1, I believe that the game also got a release on the PSP, MediEvil Resurrection. But this is pretty much it, this is the entire series. And as I mentioned on my reaction almost 2 years ago, the reaction of the first trailer, the first announcement of this remake, this franchise, this iconic name MediEvil, was a name that I never thought that we are going to see a brand new game on a modern platform. Once again, a classic, but I think that it was one of those classics that was kind of preserved in time. But it is here once again, and I can't wait to go back to Gallowmere. Now, I just want to say, guys, before I continue this video, this is not going to be a review or first impressions or anything like that. Like I said, I already have a video about that, link in the description box below. And there's already a ton of great reviews of this remake on YouTube. So, yeah, this is just going to be, a rambling video, I guess, of my memories with MediEvil. And I just want to share my passion about this game because, like I said, once again, guys, this is part of my childhood. I remember when I first got the original game back in the day. It was Christmas, and I think that I was around 10 or 11, more or less. And since a very young age, I've always been a fan of horror. And my parents never bugged me a lot about that. Of course, that there were a couple of movies that I wasn't allowed to watch, but of course that I would watch them anyway. And also I'm part of that generation that grew up with Goosebumps and Tim Burton, of course, A Nightmare Before Christmas. So, that area of, horror for kids, if you will, horror adventures. And MediEvil is kind of this, one pack of everything that is good about, horror and comedy, put together for a child. So if you never played MediEvil, the best way that I can describe this game is a horror adventure for kids with a lot of humor. And it was challenging back in the day. It was not an easy game, but it was not frustrating. And that is exactly what I'm looking for with this remake. Now, I don't want to be a gatekeeper here, and I also don't want to, to defend the devil, if you will, but I've seen a couple of bad reviews about this game during the past few days, but once again, I think that that's a little bit unfair, and here is why. Most reviews were good about this game, but a couple of them were, there was a lot of complaining about the camera and the movement, especially the controllers. And once again, guys, I'm being 100% honest, and I'm not being a fanboy here. The original game, we're talking about a 3D game for the PS1. We're talking about 32-bit, the 5th generation of video game consoles, and I've said this 1,000 times here on the channel. Those games, early 3D games, didn't age very well. And I'm not just talking about the controllers, I'm also talking about, the camera angles, movement, graphics, of course. Even though I think that the original MediEvil game, both games, hold up pretty well. And with this brand new remake, we're talking about a remake, once again, of a game that it was released on the original PS1 20 years ago. And it is not that the controllers are bad on this one. The thing is that they are just the same. The story, the characters are the same, they didn't mess that up. And the environment of the game, you know, the music, the dark environment, the comedy aspect of that, it is exactly what I remembered, but, you know, turn it up to 1000. Of course that the graphics are better, the game runs smoothly. And here is the twist, or the part where I think it is a little bit unfair to complain about the controllers of this game. No one was complaining with the original controllers back in the day. And now you can say, well, that's what we got. Well, okay, but there were bad and good games back in the day. You know, there were games well done, with good controllers, with good graphics, and there were games that didn't play that well, and the graphics were not very good. And if I compare this remake with other remakes that we've been getting for the last 2 years of classic PS1 games, you know, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Insane Trilogy, Crash Team Racing, I have those were great, and MediEvil, for me, is on the same level. So in the end, what you are getting here is an updated or HD version of the classic game. And that is exactly what I'm looking for with this remake. And not only this, but you know, remakes in general of games that I played when I was a kid. I want the same experience, but on a modern platform. Now, with all of that being said, it is totally okay if you don't like the game. It is okay if you don't like the original one. It is okay if you like the original one, but you just don't like the remake, or you're not into remakes at all. But if you're looking for a classic, if you want to relive your childhood, or a little bit of it, or if you want to experience this game for the first time, or maybe introducing this game to your kid or to your younger brother, my honest suggestion is just pick this one up. And it is a cheap game. I think that this game costs 30 euros. I paid 25 because I had the pre-order. And yeah, there's also a story behind it, because I always have a crazy story behind, you know, each purchase that I get. When I went to make the pre-order, and this was a long time ago, it was when the pre-order was announced, I went to the local stores, because yes, I don't do these things online. I'm that old school. I like to go to the store. I want to watch the physical thing, the actual thing. I like to talk with people. I went to 2 stores, and in both stores, the pre-order got a 15% discount, and also the steel case. In one of the stores, they assure me the discount, but they didn't make any promises about the steel case, because they told me, well, we don't know if this is just going to be for online purchases, or if this is going to be limited, which was weird. And for all of my Portuguese viewers, I'm talking about Fnac. And the other store, the one in which I got the game, was El Corte Inglés. And these guys there, they assure me, they gave me 100% certain that I would get the steelbook day one. So I woke up very early today to pick the game, you know, once the store opened. I got the game, I got the discount, I even got a voucher, a 5% voucher of video game purchases, but I didn't got the freaking steel case. And I was so freaking upset, so disappointed. And of course that I talked to the lady there, and the lady that was following my case, if you will, she was not part of the you know, the video game department, but she was the one that was there working, and she told me, yes, we are going to get the steel cases day one, but just at the end of the day. And she told me, well, do you want to wait, or maybe we can ship this to you, but taking into account that today is Friday, I was just going to get the steel case next week, so I said, no, I will take the game with me, and later on I'm going back to the store to pick the steel case. Not much of a story, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, just follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and later on I will post a picture of the game and the steel case, hopefully. Now, what is left for me to do during the rest of the day? Will I play MediEvil? Yeah, but not yet, because I'm actually waiting for my girlfriend to come back from work. Now, my girlfriend Maria, she didn't grow up with the PS1. She and her sister, they had the Nintendo 64. And sometimes, yeah, I'm that type of boyfriend. I'm very annoying with the stuff that I enjoy, and I'm always talking about the same thing, and she knows that I'm super hyped about MediEvil, this remake. And sometimes she tells me, well, you're doing that too much, just forget about it, just talk about other stuff. But the funny thing is that she watched all of the trailers, she also watched a couple of gameplay, and she told me, well, when is this game going to come out? And this is crazy because I didn't ask her to play the game with me. You know, sometimes I present her with a couple of games, and we do play a couple of video games together, but she was the one that said, well, I want to play this. I want to play MediEvil. And although it would be cool and nostalgic if I introduced her to the original one, I thought about waiting for the remake and yeah, and played this game with her. Now, with all of these stories and nostalgia aside, what do I think about the future of the franchise, the future of MediEvil? Well, first of all, I have to say that I'm just a little bit disappointed because, in my opinion, this should be a remake of both games. Do I think that we are going to have a remake of MediEvil 2? I think so. I think that it is almost certain. And please, MediEvil fans, don't hate me for this, because I know that this is the OG, this is the most nostalgic one, but I actually preferred MediEvil 2. I think that this is a superior game. And please, just make it happen, because we need a remake of MediEvil 2. So yeah, I think it has probably happened. Maybe it is going to happen on the PS5. Maybe a double pack in the future. I don't know. Of course, that this is just pure speculation. But what I think it is going to happen, and I think that this is something that it is probably going to be happening, you know, in the long term, with all of these remakes, you know, these classic remakes, and I'm talking about, you know, just the original PlayStation ones, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, MediEvil now. I really think and hope that these franchises are getting brand new releases in the future. I think it is mandatory, and not just for the old school fans, because lately I've seen a lot of kids getting into these, you know, getting to these remakes. And like I always say, that is the reason why I love remakes, because again, it is not just a chance for us, you know, the old school fans, to re-experience these games on HD, but it is also a very good opportunity to share these classics with the younger generations. So yeah, I'm happy, I'm very happy, I'm very nostalgic. I think that I'm living part of my childhood once again at the age of 31. And for all of the MediEvil fans out there, for the old school fans, for the new fans, yeah, this is a great day. MediEvil is back. Enjoy the game, guys, and feel free to let me know if you are a MediEvil fan. Let me know if you played the original one back in the day on the PS1, and let me know which one is your favorite. And I would also love to know your feedback about this remake. Let me know what are you thinking so far, your first thoughts. Are you preferring this one to the original one? And let me know if this is your first time playing the game. And yeah, this was the video, guys. This is a good day. Definitely an early Halloween treat. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to put a like on this video, please subscribe to the channel, and take care of yourselves, take care of the gaming community, and game a lot.